size, but sometimes the aggression might make the female more dominant. But what will happen is she will probably leave Karula at a younger age than the male. So the male leopards tend to hang with their mommies a lot longer, and the females can get independent from as young as a year old, and normally about 16 months though, and the males normally stay 18 months to 24 months even, so they can sometimes stay a very long time with mom. But when they get older, mom starts getting quite aggressive towards them to try and force them out on their own. But by a year, a leopard cub has all the capabilities, the skills needed to survive on its own. And there's even been a recorded case of leopard cubs becoming independent at as young as 9 months. Oh. Hissing at sister. Oh no, hissing at mom. Just come a bit wider. So mom came down, and you saw that the aggressive little chap, not wanting to share with mommy. He might run off with the carcass. He doesn't know what to do. And mom's just behind him. She's going to come through. You can just see, there's Karula through the trees there. Now where's little Shongi? Okay, let's go. Here she comes. Let's come wide. Look at that hissing. Cheeky little devil. Look how his ears are flat. Oh, hiss it, mom. Watch out, you'll get a smack, little one. So it's incredible how precocious that little cub is already. Just watch how his ears went flat. And Karula sort of probably just looking and going, oh my goodness. They grow up so quickly. He's already in his rude teenage years. Probably early teens, 6 months for a leopard. There's mom just lying flat cat next to her precocious child. He's hissing at her. Now, where's the other precocious child is the question. As I said, I don't think there's going to be too much of that left too soon. Or very soon, sorry. So I think the likelihood of them hanging around too long in this area is quite slim. I think they will definitely try and move, maybe even before it gets dark. So we're going to sit here playing the patience game, as a lot of our long-time viewers will know, favourite game of mine. But it's definitely worthwhile when you've got to. And we've got such incredible cats to spend time with. Hi, Penny. Now, Penny's 7 years old, and Penny would like to know, will the mom make the boy share with his sister? Probably not, unfortunately, Penny. if she wants to eat, she's going to have to fight with him for it. Life is tough out here in the bush. But we haven't seen little Shongile since right at the beginning. And she was up on top of the bank staring at us. But that carcass looks like it's almost done now. I keep checking around just in case she's on a little exploratory run like where we found her earlier. But no such luck. And I'm pretty sure she's around here somewhere. Hear the bird life. The little bird party moves towards us. Oh, what's she spotted? I think that's sister. Wherever he keeps looking back. Oh, he's chuffing at his sister. Chuffing is quite a strange thing. Now, leopards and tigers. Oh, there we go. Karula's going to steal it. Chases him off. Yeah, you little monster. That's what you get for being cheeky. One little snarl from Karula sent him flying off. Now he's going to stalk birds. We can't really see him now, so there's Karula. She's hungry. My turn. So I wonder if little Shongili is going to come join Mom. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move forward so you can see the scolded one. A little prince. So even if you're a prince, you're not beyond getting a good telling off by your mom. There he is. See, past the bush for you there. Perfecto. Looking a little bit sheepish. Now, are you going to go look for your sister to play? Or are you going to try and annoy your mother again? Well, first, time for a little bit of after dinner cleanliness. Well, thank you very much, Jilly, for cub teeth. It's between 5 and 6 months that they lose their cub teeth. And on 6 months, it is their birthday today. Well, not properly because they're not a year old yet, but it is their 6 months today. They were born on the 2nd of February. And we were lucky enough to be there within hours of the birth when they were tiny little worms. These little sausages, little spotty sausages. And they've grown up so quickly. Giving himself a good clean. Oh, here we go. Are you going to go back to cause trouble with Mom? Or are you going to go look for your sister to play with? Or we're just going to lie down and eat and clean some more. Let me just move back slightly. Oh, there we go. Now, it definitely seems a day of cats. So from one leopard licking itself to some other cat, or completely made a hash of that. Well, let's just go see what James has.
Well, everybody, there is the father of the, we think the father of the 2 cubs, or the 1 cub you've been looking at. Both of them I think you've had today. And I have to tell you that this was not my doing, this is Viam's doing. He said, let's just stick our noses in where the kill was this morning. And I said, all right, if we have to. And I thought, well, you know, you don't want the cameraman getting grumpy with you. So I said, all right, we'll do it. We stuck our heads in here, he wasn't around, and I said, that's it, we're leaving now. And then as we drove out, he pointed at the termite mound, and he said nonchalantly in his Viamesque way, he said, there he is. And there he was, lying over here, cleaning himself, as his son is doing. Look at there. You don't need to see me taking pictures. There we are. And we're now basically in exactly the same place as we had them yesterday, just a little bit further towards what we call Mumba Road. Marvellous stuff. I'm just going to call him in, everybody. Stations, we did relocate to Tingana. He is just to the west of where the Karula and the 2 cubs were yesterday. Best approach Mumba Road. He's static on a termite mound. I had absolutely no faith that we were going to find this leopard at all. I feel ashamed and at the same time honoured, of course, to be with the great Viam Durenbach, tracker extraordinaire and great cameraman and drinker of insipid hot chocolate and coffee drinks in the morning. Oh, he's lovely, isn't he? Fastidious cleaners leopards. I think that's got to do with bacteria. I also think it's got quite a lot to do with when they're hunting. They obviously don't want to be easy to smell for their potential prey. That's a very nice shot of him. Perfect cat shot, that. Now, there has been quite a lot of discussion on social media about whether he is or isn't the father of various animals, and a lot of people saying that they reckon they can tell whether leopards are the parents of other leopards from the spot patterns and that sort of thing. And I would like to support old Jerry Camacho, who has been doing some wonderful work tracking Sindile on his travails, on his reintroduction to the wilderness, and he reckons that it's just simply not possible to tell the parentage of a leopard from its spot pattern, and I have to agree with him. So, although we think that this is Hosana and Shongile's father, we think that because we've seen him mating, or we saw him mating with Karula, well, 4 or 5 times before she actually fell pregnant. And yeah, there's no way from the spot pattern that we can tell. He's great, isn't he? He's kind of a, you know, he's an unfussed leopard. He doesn't come with great fanfare like the Anderson male does. He doesn't come with the sort of mysterious blue-eyed look that Mvula came with. He just kind of gets on with it and has slowly been, I guess what you'd say I hate to say this, but he's a plodder. He's taken more and more and more territory in a very unfanfared kind of a way and turned himself into a rather massive success. He's not particularly big, he's not small, but he's done exceptionally well for himself. Wouldn't you say of him? Is he your favourite?
Quite the entrepreneur.
He's an entrepreneur. And he's enjoying some well-earned rest. I don't know about his injury. I know we haven't seen him move, other than to see him cleaning himself. So I don't think we're necessarily we're not going to leave him. We're going to stay here for as long as we can and see what he does. But he's got a big fat belly, so he's full. His coat looks to be in good condition to me, so even if his leg is in a pretty bad way, he's certainly not struggling to find things to eat. He is, of course, been pilfering from his son and daughter and erstwhile consort, the great Queen Karula. And now he's gone to sleep. Then what did you spot? Just the white, or did you spot the top of his head?
Basically the big belly.
The big white belly, yeah. I thought it might have been what you saw. Stunning. Very chilled. Lying, hugging a piece of elephant dung. While he does that, let's go across to his consort, who is doing a lot more in the way of action. She's having a feed.
So that tiny little Inyala under the adult jaws of Karula has disappeared to a speck. She's munched through the bones. She's fortunately just moved to where we can see her a bit better. I've lost sight of the cubs at the moment. They're in the thickets around her, but isn't that incredible? She's absolutely devoured it. So as you can see, there's almost nothing left. Oh, there we go. I've just spotted troublemaker number 1. I'm not sure which one it is. Come out and up onto the left. Left. There we go. What are you stalking? Are you stalking some poor unsuspecting bird, or was it your sister? Oh no. Okay, sorry to Zander. This is come back out. Let's go back down to the bottom. There's the second cub. Oh. There we go, behind Karula. Finally decided to make an appearance. After the initial appearance, of course. Oh, well, let's go quickly to James. Tingana's on the stalk.
I know that's not an amazing picture, everybody, but there's a kudu coming here. Tingana's got up, and he's definitely heard or seen the kudu. Ooh, now he's growling. Do you hear that? Mm-hmm. So he's not thinking about hunting if he's growling. It was almost a semi-territorial call. You know what? I wondered if there wasn't something in this termite mound, like a warthog perhaps, that he'd heard move. Or an aardvark. He is the aardvark specialist. Let's go round that side. I don't think he's interested in the kudu. Let's just move round the side there. Yeah, I'm going to go round the back here, simply because there isn't much space round that way. Not much space around this way either, but let's give it a go. We might have to come back the other way. elephants have made such a mess around the place that it's almost impossible to move vaguely quietly off-road. You see the kudu there, Wimpy?
It's more like Tingana now.
Nyala. This leopard is so used to vehicles, he hasn't even looked round. There we are. I don't know what he was growling at. It may well have been some kind of little territorial call. Go, Brent. Brent is hailing me. Say when, Wimpy.
That's cool.
Right, there we are, everyone. That's a pretty good shot of a magnificent male leopard. Ha. There's some elephants not too far from here. I can hear them crunching away, but that's not what he was growling at. So he just, I don't know if you heard him, everyone, but he stood up onto the top of the termite mound here and he went, ah, ah, two sort of sawing sounds, which sounded like the beginning parts of a territorial call. And then it all became too much for him and he decided he needed to sleep. Roger, you want to know if male or female make the sawing sound and what the purpose is? They both make the sawing sound, Roger, and the purpose is to mark the territory. So it travels very far through the bush and it lets the other leopards know who's in charge and who is in fact, you know, the dominant of the area at the time. It's pretty effective, I think. It's they've got the same kind of vocal arrangement as the lions do. And what that means is that they have what we call a cartilaginous hyoid apparatus. You don't need to really understand what that means, but to realize that the voice box moves a lot when they call, and that's why it makes that incredibly loud rasping noise, in the same way that lions and tigers do, and that differentiates them from most of the other cats. But this cat is now flat cat, fast asleep. Right, while he's sleeping, let's go back across to the leopard kill with the little cubs and see what's happening there.
Well, look how fat Hassan is. He's a little rotund. He is so fat. I don't think he could actually eat any more, even if he tried. And there's Mom. He's finished off quite a bit of that little Inyala. And is she going to chase the other child off? There we go, there's that chuffing. That's calling them, so she might move them. There's no food left. Doesn't look to be much left there. Mostly skin. Oh, here comes trouble. What are you up to, Hasana? There he is, just below us. I think he's too full to play. Between the Impala and the Inyala, he's had a good feed over the last little while. And there's little Shongili trying to get some food off what's left of that baby Inyala. It's going to be, oh, not much left on there at all. And Mr. Hassan has gone out again, and okay, so we're going to sit here and see what happens. I think they're going to move possibly quite shortly, but in the meantime, let's go have a look at Mr. Tingana using his nose.
Now, he spotted some waterbuck, everybody, but I don't think he's that interested. But just have a look at his face. They're all running now. There's some little ones there which he could catch, but he's semi-interested. He kind of saw them, lifted his head excitedly, and then... oh, there, he spotted a smaller one now. That's what he's looking at. It looks like a little dressage pony going across the clearings. They're totally unaware of either us or the fact that they're being watched by a highly impressive male leopard. Have you ever seen a leopard on a waterbuck kill, Wimpy?
No.
I don't think I have either.
I haven't seen anything on a waterbuck.
Very few things tend to eat waterbuck. And we think that's probably got to do with their musky smell and the glands that make the meat taste pretty yuck. But lions and hyenas will certainly eat them if they can. But Tingana, with his big fat full belly, obviously decided, let me rather just lie here on the setting sun and look magnificent, for that is what I am. There you are. You're fantastic, isn't he great? What have you got there, Viam? The Nyala, moving slowly towards us. Tingana is listening every so often. His ears flick back towards where that Nyala is coming, so he clearly knows it's there. Look at him, he couldn't be more comfortable. It does make one sort of want to go up to him and lie on his belly. I don't think he'd be very happy if you did that, though. Do you, Viam?
No.
No.
He likes his space.
He likes his space. Quite full. He's not panting. I think probably like Hosanna's panting now. Apparently he is a big fat pig at the moment. But Tingana not panting particularly hard, which means I think the food that they ate last night was probably not that large. That said, he does have a fairly large white belly. I'm very pleased that Viam managed to convince me to come in here. We were thinking of nipping across to Cheetah Plains. Apparently there was a lion sighting there, but no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to enjoy this beautiful male leopard. They are coming a little bit clearer. 2 males, beautiful. They're sort of skirting around the side, aren't they? They're not really coming straight towards us. And he's just lurking on the side of the termite mound, fast asleep now. And all around, just the sounds of the evening are starting to come now. It's sort of 5 o'clock in the evening, so late tea time, I guess. A couple of red-billed buffalo weavers calling down in the drainage lines, gossiping over whatever it is they can find. 1 or 2 Birchall starlings going quack, 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 quack. Doves all around, one or sort of sparsely dotted around, the ring-necked doves going proo, proo, proo. A little breeze coming in from the southeast. Delicious, delicious smell of the African wild in the winter. And the scene completed, of course, by the prince of predators, the leopard. And no ordinary leopard, of course, Liam's favourite, Tingana. So I'm not convinced that he's going to try and hunt. That little growl that he made there indicates to me that he's probably going to do a little bit in the way of territorial marking tonight. I would like to see him walk, because I believe there was quite a lot of concern over the state of one of his back legs. So I think we'll sit here for quite a while longer. Well, we'll see how the show goes, but we'll sit here for a bit longer and see if he doesn't get up and move around a bit. And that'll give us a chance to see his legs. In the meantime, let's go across to his slightly more active offspring.
And you know, Shongela is still feasting upon that tiny bit of Inyala that's left. Karula's moved and we can't see where she's lying down at the moment, but she is still here. And Hassan has disappeared on a wonder. We can't see him on camera from where we are here, but I'm sure he'll either come back or get called back by Mom. And can you see Hosanna?
Yeah,
Is it a nice view?
I don't think I can. No.
Do I need to move?
It's too bushy.
It's too bushy, okay. He's lying where we can't get a good view, so we'll stick with Shongela feasting. Now the sun is getting quite low, so we will stay for as long as we can. I can actually hear where James is from where I'm sitting. He's not far from me. Now, Jilly's saying the leopards don't seem to have mange like the lions do. Jilly, I don't think the lions have mange. I just think they've got a bit of a skin irritant, a problem. It could be fungal. It doesn't look like sarcoptic mange to me, which is the bad one that makes them lose all their hair. It's more likely to spread through an animal like a lion, being a social animal, because they come into contact with each other far more often than leopards do. And those contacts are often physical, lying on top of each other, aloe grooming, cleaning each other. So something like that will spread far easier through lions than leopards. But leopards can get mange. I have seen leopards with mange before. Is your tummy also full, madam? Not full enough yet. There's still some meat on the foreleg there. Look at that. Getting stuck in there between the skin and the bone. Getting as much meat as she can from it. There she is. Yum, 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 yum. If you're a leopard, of course. Looks like she's looking right at us, which she probably is, just having a look what we're up to. Not that we have moved at all. We're still here, madam. Or little madam. That is... Oh, it's a fly. Her attention was distracted by quite a large fly. It landed just in front of her. Now, the reason Karula hasn't hoisted this kill is probably because it's just so small that she knows that you're going to be able to finish it before any potential threats. Although Tingana is not far away. I'd say from where I heard James's vehicle, he's maybe 200 meters from me at the most. Oh, there's a fly again. She's not paying it as much attention. Also keeping a lookout, make sure her brother doesn't come barreling down again. And she's also got a very fat little tummy. Look at that. Just too sweet. Now, it's very seldom something can look cute eating another animal, but somehow these leopard cubs managed to pull it off. Oh, Osana has been spotted. You hear that? That's around where he walked off to, and he's definitely been spotted by one of the little birds. Maybe he was trying to stalk it. It's getting a bit nippy down here in the hollow, so I'm just going to pop my jersey on. There you go, Xander. Apparently you're getting a lot of well dones. And it hasn't been the easiest first solo trip out here. Bashing and crashing, getting hooked on the odd acacia. But it is all worth it to spend this quality time with these incredible leopards. Well, we're going to stay here just to make sure and see what happens. And while we do that, let's go back to James, who's still with Mr. Fat Cat himself, Tingana.
Now Tingana moved the other side of the termite mound here, so we've moved again, and it's because he spotted some kudus. Well, actually he didn't. Viam spotted the kudus there. Viam was on fire. Then Viam told Tingana about them, and he saw them, and he didn't want to be spotted by them. And I'm sure because they would have alarmed and alerted everything else to his presence. So he just snuck around to over there where he is now. And the nyala that were in the bushes here are now, well, they're a bit closer. They're not too far from here, and I'm sure he can hear them moving. But he doesn't seem to be too concerned about them. But he was not interested in being spotted by those kudu, which have now moved off. It's all just rather peaceful sitting here with Tingana as he nods off again. He and his offspring. Really astonishing we've had such amazing sightings of them. Robin, you ask an excellent question. You say, when these leopards disperse, will the guides from wherever they are found try and find out who they are, or will they just give them other names? Robin, they almost certainly will try and find out who they are, especially in the Sabi Sands. And that's certainly what happened with this fellow. I keep getting this mixed up, but I'm pretty sure it was Tingana, I think, comes from Lion Sands. So he comes from quite a long way away from here. And he was sort of followed, his progress was followed through the Sabi Sands, and eventually he ended up here. But we do know who he is because of that, so he, I think. Then sometimes you have a situation where a random leopard will pitch up, and then, you know, especially in the days before there was so much photography, and suddenly someone would say, oh, well, you know, that's definitely the son of Mrs. Puffum and Brother T, or something like that. I remember from 3 years ago. And, of course, there's absolutely no way you can do that. To recognize a leopard that's 3 years, you know, after a 3-year gap is almost impossible. And so I'm pretty sure that males do go into areas, and I'm pretty sure they'd be unrecognized in a large number of examples, and perhaps be misidentified as animals that they are not. But in the Sabi Sands, because there's so much in the way of tourism going on here, there's a huge amount of activity. It'd be very difficult for a leopard, or unusual for a leopard, to just pitch up and no one to know who he was. I think Djuma is quite a good example of that. I'm not sure anybody knows the ancestry of Djuma, who's a male leopard who's found on Buffelshoek from now and again. We think maybe came from the Kruger, but don't know what his ancestry is. And he's now fast asleep. There we go. No, he's not. He's just to prove that I'm wrong. I'm just going to see if anyone wants to come to the sighting again. Ephraim, do you copy? I think Ephraim was looking for leopards today. Did you copy my sighting off Mamba Road? If I've got Tingana here in the same place as those, as Karula was yesterday, easy access off Mamba if you're interested. Yeah, then no one else is coming, so we just enjoy it ourselves. We've had 4 leopards to ourselves between Brent and I today. Marvellous. Thank you for Herbert to finding the first lot, and of course I'd love to take credit for this one, but I must hand that to the sharp eyes of Viam Doornbrach. Now, Rocky Knight, you say, would Tingana take down a kudu? In theory, yes. In theory, he would take down a young kudu, possibly a full-grown cow, very unusually a full-grown male. I think you'll find in areas like the Eastern Cape where The bush is a bit thicker in lots of areas. I think where there's not a lot of impala, there are not a lot of the way of sort of medium-sized antelope. The chances of them taking big things like kudu would be much larger. But, I mean, you hear of, apparently the Anderson male took out a small giraffe and hoisted it into a tree. A giraffe, when it's born, is half the size of a kudu, so a leopard can certainly take prey the size of a kudu. But out here, lots of steenbok and duiker and much smaller stuff that's much easier to kill. I did see him move, by the way, and I don't think he was limping. VM reckoned he might have had a bit of a limp, but he was walking on the uneven ground of the termite mound, so I don't think that he's still injured. I think he's just fine. And slowly the sun has kind of set. We don't really have a shot of the sun, do we, VM?
We can always try.
We can always try, yes. Very kind of you. There we are. The sun has gone down. Just too late. And like I say, I imagine Tingana might move this evening, do a bit of territorial marking, but he might also lurk about here. And apparently Karula, if I'm hearing Brent correctly, she's managed to kill 2 things where she is there, so he might just tootle along there and share dinner with the family again. Hello, Darlene in New Hampshire. As we look at this magnificent fellow, you say you've read that scientists have said leopards have lost 75% of their habitat due to human encroachment in Africa, the Middle East, and into Russia and Siberia and even India. Is this true, and is it true that the reasons are that they aren't afforded the same concern as lions and cheetahs because they are so much more elusive? I'd say yes and no. Whenever I read something that says scientists say, I'm always slightly suspicious, because of course anyone can define themselves as a scientist. Absolutely, I'd say 75% of their, at least 75% of their previous range has been filled with human beings. But within that range, Darlene, they are remarkably resilient. Yes, there is absolutely fact, or certainly an indication. Let's see if he's... There we go. Isn't that wonderful? He is limping slightly, but I think it's his left front foot. No, his right front foot. Yeah, it's his right front foot, but he's okay. I don't think it's a train smash, a limp like that. Alright, let's follow him. So, Darlene, yes, absolutely, their habitat is much diminished, but they are resilient. But yes, I've certainly read and I've heard from leopard researchers that it's difficult to tell exactly what their numbers are simply because they are so elusive. But they still extend, the same species of animal, all the way from the Cape into the whole of Africa, just about, all the way down into the Middle East, or up into the Middle East and up into Russia, down into India, and then across to Siberia. So they are the most amazingly adaptable creatures. Isn't that a lovely sound that he made? Let's try and see if there's any withering of the muscle on that limp. No, it's not that severe, but it isn't great, is it? I think that's in his shoulder. I say that because he's not being careful about where he puts his foot. He's putting his foot down as he would normally, and then he's kind of lifting off the shoulder. So I think that's a muscular or joint issue that he's got in his shoulder, possibly in his elbow joint. But he looks in good nick, you know, and I think he's, I don't know how long he's had that injury. Before I went on leave, I hadn't seen him for a long time. But he's certainly not skinny. He doesn't look to have lost too much muscle mass. The key thing with these leopards, and we noticed it with the Mvula almost immediately, as with all of the animals out here, their hips start to show first. His hips aren't showing. He's looking pretty good. And Susie, I know exactly what you mean. You say you can't remember ever seeing him not limping. I've definitely seen him with injuries to his back legs. I don't remember the front leg like this, but I think that's because it happened possibly while I was on leave. But yeah, many of the animals out here will be limping just about continuously. It's a bit like a rugby or football player, American football player, gridiron player. They're almost always, because of the physical nature of their existence, they're almost always carrying some kind of injury. It's very seldom that they aren't injured in some way. And I think it's much the same for the lions, the hyenas, the leopards, the animals that live these very physical lives. They have to kill to eat, which is inevitably dangerous, especially if they take anything larger than, say, a steenbok. Even a duiker can be a danger if they don't grab it properly. Can be a danger to an animal like this. So I think you'll find that most of them live with injuries that they recover from almost on a consistent basis. Let's see if he calls again now. He's just listening. I just want to try and get a little bit closer to him, because if he does call again, I'll kill the engine. It would just be lovely to hear that sound. It's not quite as loud as a lion's, but it is still pretty loud. And I think those Nyala are just up ahead. See, as the bird started calling, going, the tail came up. Go around on this little track. I think he's going to head towards Mamba Road, which is really not far from here at all, rather than bashing through there. Oh, MP, I'm not doing you any favours here. Let's go a little bit further forward and see if we can't get a view through here. Right, let's just watch him go now. I know that's not the best view. We have had a great view, but what I want you to do is listen to the birds call. And there you can hear there's some arrowmark babblers. Here they come. They're going to sit in the two starlings that have come and sat in the tree above him. There they are. They're just watching. They always like to know where the predators are going, especially the leopards, because while a lion will probably ignore a bird, the leopard will eat a bird if it can get it. Definitely shouting at him. Alright, we'll move now. The road is just up ahead, so I'm going to take a chance. Sorry about that, MP, you're right. And go around to the road. Sorry about the noise, everyone. I didn't really see that tree. And let's get onto the road, and then we don't need to go crashing through the bush. Well, that was my plan anyway. I failed with that one. Here he comes. He's just coming out behind this big tree here. He was just coming out behind this big tree here. And apparently Brent has offered his assistance here. I think, given the static nature of the sighting, it's not necessary. But if you'd like to come and see Tingana, well, a waterbuck. If you haven't spotted a waterbuck on the left there, I think Tingana's relieving himself. See, he's got the tail up now, a sort of surrender to the birds. There we go. That's a waterbuck calling. Tingana's not being at all careful here. He's out to mark his territory. He's going to spray on that tree now. Psst, psst. There he goes. Did he make that noise?
Yes, I think so.
So as the waterbuck went, whoosh, he went, ah. Let's listen to see if the waterbuck does it again. That's really interesting. I've never heard that before. And they're equally as fascinated by him as we are. Let's move forward a bit. You can just catch the smell of those waterbuck now. Lovely musky smell. It's like sort of old saddle mixed with a bit of peat. It's lovely. Hello chaps. Lots of little waterbuck here that would be pretty delicious for Tingana. And Tingana is now what? If you say 50 meters from them? There he's spraying on the guarri bush. And that apparently will smell like buttered popcorn, as opposed to these waterbuck which smell that really nice kind of smoky, leathery smell. Now they will move towards him because they'll want to see where he's going. And it's a really interesting lesson. You can see they're coming along almost with us. It's a really interesting lesson to learn if you're walking in the bush and you realize that animals, especially things like buffalo, will see you as a predator. So when they see a predator, they want to know where it's going, because if he was hunting them, what he'd do is disappear and he'd go off into the bush here. They want to make sure he's not doing that. So when you're walking and you see a buffalo, if you then duck down behind a bush and walk away, it will immediately think that you've done acting like a cat, and it'll come and look for you. Whereas if you stand up, acknowledge that it's seen you, turn on and walk away so it can see you moving away, is often the best approach. And we'll just gently follow him down the road here. I suspect he looks like he's going to go in on that game path there. It's marking territory. Sorry, we are averting eyes. It's almost like he's looking at us saying, please avert your eyes, I'm busy with something a little private here. There we are. Sorry about that, fellow. Listen. Oh, that was a pathetic little attempt at a territorial call. We'll try and get it for you again. Tasha, Michelle, you want to know what that thing underneath his chin is. It's a dewlap, that's what we call it. It's a flap of skin, and I think its principal purpose is probably to protect his neck if he does happen to have a fight with another leopard. So I think that's the point of the dewlap. Just gives them some skin like some dogs have got, like a staffy or what other kind of dog a bull terrier would have. They've got the kind of really large flap of skin. I think he spotted some elephants in there. Stations Tingana Mobile west along Mumbus Road towards Drakensberg. east along Mamba towards Drakensberg. I'm just giving an update down the radio. Brent's got some elephants, so let's go across to them because I think we didn't have a sighting of them earlier. So let's go and have a quick look at the ellies.
Oh, don't wander away as soon as we go live, you rude creature. That's a young Ellie bull. I did think I heard some more up ahead. So he's going to go into some seriously thick stuff now. Murphy's Law. He's been sitting so nicely for so long, but it did sound like there was some more up ahead, so we're going to move on and see if I can catch up with the other ones I could hear. Now, they sounded like they were just around the corner here, so hopefully they're there. They're not deep in the drainage, which is a sneaking suspicion I have. So as you can see, we've left Karula and the cubs, and it was getting dark, and Shungili actually finished that little Inyala completely, so he decided it's time to leave them to themselves and have their nightly wanderings. Now, as we're heading towards darkness, our spotlights will come out, and Penny Pine is wondering now it seems like those ellies aren't here. Sorry, Penny, I'm back. You have my undivided attention now, Penny. When we shine the spotlight on different animals, do their eyes come up a different color depending on if they're predator or prey? No. Their eyes come a different color depending on the angle of the light. So depending on how the light hits them, depends on what color the eyes can be. So lion's eyes can be blue, green, silver, red, so can imparts. What we look for when we're using the spotlight is more shape or the width between the eyes. So some of the more and the movement, so the way the head's moving. Some of the more confusing ones that can catch you at night when you think it might be a predator. Duiker is a great one, because they've got very feline-like movements for an antelope. Oh, excuse me. And the other, when it's sitting down, or your larger antelope species, but specifically waterbuck and wildebeest, because they've got quite wide gaps between their eyes, which the predators often have as well. So sometimes a double take with a spotlight. Of course, with the smaller creatures, you can just tell by where they are height-wise. Now, we know where Tingana is. We know where Karula and the cubs are. So I think the Nkahumas could have been around Vuyatela in the drainage line there. So I'm hoping that they might move out of there as it gets cooler. So I'm going to head towards that area. While we do that, let's stay with the magnificent beast that is our dominant male leopard, Tingana.
There he is, everyone, and VM was just trying to show you his fresh tracks, which are of course smokingly fresh. He's not too far from the eastern boundary now. He's going onto the road that we call Drakensberg Road, and just if he carries on going straight, he's going to cross the Cheetah cut line into Torchwood about 200 meters from now. So let's just follow him up to the top here. And then we'll see. But what a privilege to have spent this time with him, and of course with the Karula and her little ones. I'll turn off as soon as he looks to listen, because I do sometimes feel like the vehicle noise does affect them. You may just be able to hear in the background there a huge conglomeration I was talking about earlier of Birchall starlings, all gathering down in the drainage lines, going quack, 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 shouting at each other. Yeah, this chap's going to hit Torchwood, I think. Tax or Aubrey coming? I just think it'd be a pity if we didn't hand him over to somebody as he crossed into Torchwood. Tax on or Aubrey coming. I know it would be nice to get in front of him, everyone, but we'll have to crash and make a big noise to do it, and I don't really want to do that. It's such a nice sighting of him. So let's leave the road ahead free for him. Ephraim, do you copy? If this animal is going to cross east into Torchwood, he's at the junction of Mamba and Cheetah Plains in about 3 minutes. Okay, copy. Nobody close enough by. So we'll just watch him till he disappears into Torchwood. Dave, Tingana is about to cross east into Cheetah Plains from Mamba Road. Sorry, not Cheetah Plains, Torchwood. Just lifts his head every so often and listens. Isn't that a wonderful sight? It's almost incongruous, I always think, when I see a leopard walking along the road like that. Such an incredible creature that just wandering gently along a road in full view. Walking through a little cathedral of trees there. So just over the next bump, so there's the first bump, then the second bump is where the Cheetah cut line is, and he'll cross there into Torchwood, and that will be the last that we spend with him this evening. We can't go in there. I might try and nip past him. No, I'm not going to do it. We've had a great frontal view of him, so I'm just going to let him walk there without the disturbance. Completely silent. Now watch as he goes past. If you can just zoom out slightly, VMP. As he goes past the leaf litter there. See how he kind of disappears? Much more difficult to see when he's walking through vegetation or over vegetation like that. And of course if he was hunting, he'd be in thicker bush. There we go. We won't get close to him this time. Remember, he gave us a dirty look last time he was doing this and we were following him. There we go. Just going to help Gert get in here. Go ahead. It's just me, but I can't follow him obviously once he's crossed into Torchwood. He's about 100 meters from the junction with Mamba Road and Cheetah Cutline. Perfect, thanks. It's our pleasure, Dave. It's been good to have you back. That's just very kind thanks from Dave Cruz of Buffelshoek for all the sightings we've had here at WildEarthTV. He's thanked Wild Earth, but I think we were largely blessed with a massive amount of luck over the last few days. One or two drongos calling now. They're the last diurnal birds to call. And there, watch him lift his tail. It's because the drongos are now shouting at him. Gert is going to pop out in front of you if you drive another 30 meters. Just stand by, you'll come out of the junction right now. Wonderful stuff. There you can hear the drongos maybe shouting at him now. And see how he's lifted his tail in kind of surrender. Yeah, come a bit forward, Gert. Elaine Cole, you want to know how old he is and if his limp could be due to age. Elaine, he's only 9, which means he's pretty much in his prime. So no, his limp is highly, highly unlikely to be due to age. I think it's far more likely to be due to an injury sustained either while trying to defend a kill or most likely from actually making a kill. Just move a little bit further forward and we'll get a last view of him as he goes. There he goes. Isn't that great? Those drongos going crazy. Good night, Tingana, and thank you very much. Yeah, I mean the limp is not. It's not going away as he warms up, but I don't think it's that severe. Often, just like with dogs and with human beings, an injury like that looks a lot worse when they're cold, when they've just got up and started moving. He's almost like he's turned round to say, "You're not coming with me." Hello, Romy in Ohio. You said looks like he's dragging his right front paw, and you'd like to see a track. I'm afraid in this light it's going to be almost impossible to show you a track, Romy. I have just looked at them though, and they don't look any different. He's not quite dragging it. All he's doing is just kind of placing it, and then he's placing it normally, and then he's walking over the shoulder on it. Okay, let's head back across to Brent Leo Smith, find out what he's finding in the dusk light, and we're going to head back towards quarantine now.
Now, I'm quite sure some of you are wondering why I have a cable tie in my mouth. It's so I don't lose it. I tend to lose things. So while driving, I need the cable tie. And why I need a cable tie, you might ask? It's because I am on our way to the camera trap, and I know everyone, including myself, is very excited to see what we've caught upon it, but I want to put it back in the same spot, and I need the cable tie to make sure it stays there. Okay, so I'm going to light up my work area, and okay, so now I've got a cable tie, I've got a knife. Now, do I have the very important third piece? I do, a spare memory card. Okay, let's do this. I wonder what's on the camera trap. So we're going to find out tonight, and if I do have any incredible little videos, I will try to post them. Otherwise, I'll put them onto my iPad and we can have a closer look at them in the morning. Okay. Let's make sure. Oh, see, I nearly lost the cable tie already. Okay, so let's make sure memory card is safe. And take the knife, cut the last cable tie. Voila! So, for those of you who might wonder why my camera trap is in a steel box, it's to make sure the hyenas don't eat it to pieces. Now the moment of truth, switch it off, go back to setup mode. How many videos are there or pictures? Oh dear, I think a herd of impala must have sat here for half a day. There are 1,114 files to go through. So that's going to be fun. Okay, that's a challenge. So it might take me more than a day to get through all of them. Take that one out. Pop that one in. Make sure it's empty. And it is empty. Okay. Oh dear, I should have brought more batteries with me. Oh, we'll give it a go. Actually, no, I'm going to take it back with me now on second thoughts because the batteries are flat, they need to be charged. Okay. So, remember, you may have your cable tie back. There we go, sir. And I've got the broken cable tie, so we don't leave any rubbish in the bush. Let's pop those over there, and let's continue on to see what we can find. In this glorious dusk, you can see the incredible colour out there. Oh, I do love living in the bush. Let us make sure our spotlight is ready. Indeed it is. Only managed to catch one radio cable. That's a near miracle. Okay, off we go. 1,114. I definitely wasn't expecting that many. So, come on guys, who knows what's on there? I'm pretty sure they're impala. But let's go past the impala, the zebra, the normal things. Wonder what wonderful nocturnal creatures might be on there. I've got a feeling there's porcupine. That's my one. Why don't you guys let me know what you think? What special creature might be on that camera trap? Let me know, hashtag Safari Live or questions at WildEarthTV. What is that rattle there? Okay. Now, which way to go? Let's go this way. So Julia Smith says, are we doing a Facebook rap tonight? Oh, Julia, I don't know. I think you should ask James. Come on, we're some nocturnal critters. We're being so spoilt with leopards at the moment. It's been fantastic. Hopefully it'll continue on into the sunrise safari. Sorry, there's something that is squeaking behind you that is going to make me lose my mind. I think it's actually in the aerial. Sorry about this, guys. So you just hear this. Is it that? Okay, we'll have to fix it later. Oh, it sounds like there's a cricket in my ear. No. Well, we'll figure it out just now. Ooh, Aaron, good one. He thinks there might be a banded mongoose on the camera trap. That's possible. It was dark. I didn't look at the tracks there as I took it down, but it is possible. There could be a slender mongoose as well. There could be dwarf mongoose. Safari Dean says a honey badger. I think it's a strong possibility. Who knows, maybe even an aardvark. I think there's going to be a porcupine. Hopefully there's all of the above. Pretty sure there's probably the odd hyena. Now, I'm having a look for owls at the moment. This is one of my good spots for owls along the edge of here. Well, hello Joey in Australia. Joey thinks we'll see a civet, and also it's Joey's 15th birthday. Well, happy birthday, Joey, from the whole Safari Live crew. And also, Joey, all the best people are born in August. It's just one of those things. There's a nice dead knobthorn up ahead that we quite often find owls perched in. And I feel like I haven't had a nice owl sighting in a while, so I'm hoping that it's going to be there. Oh dear, nothing in the tree. Oh, wait. Second tree. No owl, no owl. No owl. Ah, well, that's disappointing. So, well, from Zander myself, well done Zander on his first solo camera mission. You can put your thumb in front. There we go, well done. Lovely to have Karula and the Cubs do a bit of off-roading. And of course, thanks to everyone in Final Control. And it's always a pleasure driving with the highly entertaining Commander Bond on the other vehicle, and I'm sure you thoroughly enjoyed that. So from Zander and myself, we're going to say bonne nuit and send you across to James.
Bon oui, exactly. There is a planet. There's the only planet that this camera is able to film because it is so very bright. I think it's Venus. I haven't checked a star chart for a little while, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's either Venus or Jupiter. But just look at the dying embers of the day there on the horizon. And I've got to tell you, to get VM to film a landscape like that for any length of time is difficult. So it must be particularly impressive if he's done that. Right, let us carry on. I haven't even taken the spotlight out, you know. Switch all the lights on. Ooh, find a gear that works. And we'll just do a little bit of shining. Spotlight, see if we can see anything on the last few minutes. We're heading down to the twinkling lights of WildEarthTV in front of us. It's always such a lovely time of the day because it's, I don't know, there's something comforting about the twinkling lights of a camp as the night falls over the wilderness. I suppose safe in the knowledge that you, unlike the impala and the nyala and the wildebeest and the other animals out here, are going to have to spend the next sort of 12 hours absolutely terrified that something's going to leap on their backs. There's a little scrub hare there. Much cooler as we go down through this drainage line.
Oh, I got another one in the room. Okay. So you've caught me taking batteries out of my camera trap. I was Oh, we're rolling forward. As you can see, we're nearly back home, and I was going to pop the batteries in the charger. So there you go. It's very riveting. I'm going to take them out. I had a sneaky suspicion this was going to happen for some reason. So so there we go. Well, very exciting to see what's on the camera trap. And I'm going to charge the batteries so we can put it out again somewhere more exciting, or maybe even in the same place if we get lots of great critters there. I think around Cheetah Cutline is going to be my next spot. Hopefully we catch an aardvark. I might put it up around some aardvark burrows if they're active. And there's also a lot of honey badgers and lion and leopard and all sorts in that area. And so from the back of Inga's house, where my battery charger lives, it's been great having you on the Sunset Safari. From James and VM on the other vehicle, and from all of us again, for the second time tonight, bon nuit.